Hi everyone! Today we're going to review some Photoshop tools and some various things you can do to edit your photos. Before we start, it's good to make sure your setup is how you want it to be. So if it's been a while since you've used Photoshop and if someone was messing with the program and got rid of some things, here's how you can get them back. So you'll always want to make sure you have your tools visible. I think it's helpful to have your history visible and then the layers window. And so if those are ever gone, you can go to Window at the top and you'll click on History, Layers, and Tools. There's different ways you can arrange your workspace, but I prefer the photography way. So you can play along around with that. That's fine. So for this project, we're going to be creating a Surrealism collage. And remember, you'll have to use at least one of your own photos, and then you can use various other photos from the internet. So the second thing you'll do is you'll open your photos. So I already have one of my photos open in here. And remember, to open another photo, you just go to File and Open. That will bring up this window where you can search for various files on your computer. And so you'll select the files you need to open and you'll click open, and that will just open in another tab. You can use whatever steps you want for this project. If you do things a different way than I do, that's fine. I just want to make sure you guys remember how to use some of the important tools in Photoshop. So the next step would be to get all of our photos into one work area. And what I like to do is I just like to copy and paste into different layers. So I'm going to select this whole picture, and you can do that in a number of ways. You can use a shortcut key by clicking Control A, and notice that picture is now selected. Control D is to deselect. Or you can go up to this tab that says Select, and if you click on All, that whole thing is selected. Then you can copy and paste this. So remember to copy and paste. There's a few different ways you can do that. You can go to Edit, Copy, or you can use your shortcuts, Control or Command C. So I'm copying this, and now all I have to do is paste it into this workspace. So I can go to Edit and Paste, or I can use my shortcuts, and notice that is now in a different layer. So obviously this picture is a lot bigger than the other one. So now I have to resize it. A really handy way to resize things is to transform it. So if you go to Edit, and if you go to Free Transform, notice the shortcut for that is Control T, or on Macs it's Command T. This is a great way to make your pictures or parts of a picture smaller or larger. So all you have to do is find a corner and then drag it up and down. Make sure you hold Shift so that your proportions don't get messed up. So I'm just going to make this picture a lot smaller than it was. Okay, and then to apply the changes, you hit Enter. So I use this tool a lot. It's really handy, so don't forget it's the Free Transform tool under the Edit tab or Controller to Command T. So now I'm going to play with some of my layers, rename them. I like to copy my background layer and then turn it off. That way it doesn't get messed up, and that way I can just work on these too if I need to. But that's just me. You guys can do whatever you need to do. Okay, so at this point, you're probably going to want to start deleting images, editing different layers so that they start to fit within your collage. So for a review, if you're working on a specific layer, you need to make sure that you've highlighted that layer in the layers window. Because if I wanted to work on the superhero layer, I would have to click on it, or if I wanted to work on the chickens layer, I would have to click on it. Here's some tools. So crop is over here. You can pick a size and resolution if you want, or you can clear it and just kind of do a free selection. And then to apply that, you'll just hit enter. Okay, so I'm just going to start working with some selection tools now. So selection tools are really handy because they can help you delete out backgrounds or select specific areas for recoloring. And the selection tools can all be found in this area. You can select various shapes. You can draw your own shapes to select things. Or you can use these two tools. The magic wand that will select specific areas. And the quick selection will help you. You can draw an area to select. So I want to save this chicken head. And so once something is selected, you can work within that area. So if I wanted to change the coloring, I could go to Image and Adjustments and work on the coloring, such as changing the contrast. Changing the colors. And then you can also select the opposite and delete that. So now all I have is just my selected chicken head. So remember, there's other tools as well. In this area you can find the dodge and burn tool. And then if you right click, you can change the size as well as the hardness. So for example, if I wanted to make this shadow a little bit darker, I could do that. If I wanted to make the background a little bit lighter, I could also do that. Whoops. Okay, and then also don't forget, here is the clone stamp tool. So this one's really nice because you can use it to go over different sections of your picture, kind of get rid of things or add things. So I'm going to make this smaller. And remember, you can't use the tool until you have defined an area to be cloned. So to do that, you will click on the Alt button and click on an area. So if I wanted to get rid of this other cape and I wanted to maybe copy in some of this sidewalk area, I'm going to hold down Alt and then I'm going to click, and now I've selected that sidewalk. Make that a little bigger. Now I can just kind of go over this. So the whole point of this assignment is to just practice working with the Photoshop tools and to make a little bit more of a believable collage. And so to do that, you'll just be playing with the various tools in Photoshop. You'll be resizing things, recoloring things, and that's about it. Once you're done, you will flatten your image, and you can do that by going to Layer, Flatten, or you can also select the layers you want to flatten together and do that here as well. And then you will save that as a JPEG. Before you do so, I think it's always a good idea to make sure that everything's the way you want it. Maybe take a step back. Sometimes it helps to zoom in and out to look at things. And by doing that, I kind of found out that I think I want this chicken head to be a little bit bigger. And then I need to work on the feathers a little bit and erase some to make some texture. So now I have my super chicken, I'm going to flatten it, and there's my picture. Then you can hit Save As, make sure it's saved as a JPEG, and you can save it to your computer.